How's it going, everyone? We're live at ECCE. Probably nobody in here yet because I just went live. I'm going to share this link. Hopefully we get some people in here for the chat. It's probably going to be pretty laggy. The internet's not very good here. We'll see what's going on. Yeah. There, I've shared the link, so hopefully we can get some people in here to chat it out. Right now, I'm not gonna do a room discussion with other people. Too many issues with the internet right now. Yeah. So what am I doing here, eh? Well, I'm here promoting my book, Time and Space, Lunar Wars, #1, which is now funding on Indiegogo. And yeah, sorry, I'm not being super talkative. I should have set this up before I went live, but I didn't. So, sorry about that. Volume might be a little low on my headset right now. I might have to turn it up. There's a lot of noise in here. Of course, it's convention. So, as you can see, there's a lot going on behind me here. People setting up and stuff. The convention doesn't officially start until 5 o'clock. So we still got a few hours to go. But I decided to come in early, get a jump on everything, start it out. Because, well, why not? You might as well get set up early. Talk to some old friends and stuff like that that are around. It's all good. It's all good. See if I can get a couple watchers in here. Yeah. Come on, guys. There we go. Hey. Comics to Nord is in the chat. Hey, how you doing? Feel free post any questions you have. I am here for answers today. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Oh, Edwin, hi. Thanks for sharing that out. That's great. I don't know how long this is gonna last. The internet might crap out at any time, but we'll keep it going anyway. Hey, is it Durkin? I might be pronouncing that wrong. How you doing, man? Cheese doodles. I don't have any cheese doodles, I'm afraid. Not my favorite type of snack, but although I do like snacks, you can tell, I got the girth, but oh my God, they just turned the lights on. Awesome. Yeah. Oh man. Hey, we can see now. I'm probably casting a shadow, but hey. Cheese doodles are not the superior product. Well, they could be. I'm not a big chip person, to be perfectly honest, but more of a I don't know what kind of snack foods I really like. I like granola bars a lot for some reason. Strange, yeah. I do have a lot of product. I like making things, physical things. I have mugs. I have mugs. I have prints. I have ceramic tiles. I've got metal prints. I've got my book, my making of book for sale. Yeah, the Canadian dollar definitely hurts. You don't get the sweet, wealthy American dollars, but it's good for the guys down in the States, because when they're buying my book, it's a lot cheaper because I put it $15 Canadian, but it's only $11 US. I mean, that's cheaper than most of the books being funded by Comicsgate and Comicsgate adjacent people, I would say. Not that it's going to be like a cheap quality, but yes, my blood type is maple syrup. Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's not maple syrup. It's 100%. Not 100%, but it's 95% whiskey. Actually, Edwin. Yeah. No, not poutine either. It's whiskey. It's Crown Royal to be specific. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, guys, what's what's going on? What can I tell you today? Uh, so I got this book coming out, and I'm here promoting it. And any original art, unfortunately, no. Rob is down in California. He's the artist, and the only original art I can get a hold of, if you can see this one right here, this was done by a local artist named Andre Boulard, and who is here. He has the original, but it's a digital, drawing. So this, I guess, technically would be original. Any print that I make from it. Uh, a lot of people are only doing digital stuff now, unfortunately. But Rob, the artist, he's doing everything via like watercolor and ink and stuff like that. So he would have the originals, and I'm hoping, we get to a certain point, I can offer that as a tier. But Rob is a busy guy. That's Rob Cannon, by the way. I should mention his last name. He's a wonderful artist. He's very helpful, great to work with. Yeah, I probably am wasting my time not mentioning the name of my book. It's Of Time and Space, The Lunar Rise, #1 on Indiegogo. Yes, smash the like button. You were right. Actually, subscribe. I've only got 50 subscribers right now. This isn't a big channel. It never has been, unfortunately. I've been doing YouTube for quite a while. I had an old channel. It had, a couple hundred subscribers. But I lost that channel back in 2011 when they switched things over to Google. And I started this one up instead. And ever since then, I've been mainly focusing on original content, a lot of convention videos, some photography videos, because, I do photography as well. And yeah, haven't really picked up a lot of subscribers that way. But I'll tell you, man, it's all good. I like making original content. I'm not really doing it for clicks or views or to make money off of. It's more just for my personal enjoyment, editing video and stuff like that. I love video editing and putting things together like that. But yeah, we're not really here to talk about that. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the channel and maybe why we're not, don't have a lot of subscribers and stuff like that. But so, back in 2011, well, before that, what's my book about? My book is my book is an original science fiction, like Dune, I would say. More like, Lord of the Rings sort of style. Maybe not as well written, because I'm definitely no J.R.R. Tolkien, but it takes place in the world in the center of the universe, and it's the first world that ever formed. And on this world, a ancient evil that from Lord of the Dunes, yeah, an ancient evil from the past that existed before time comes back from the earth and threatens the world once again. And the peoples of the world have to band together to stop it. Now, that's the gist of the story. I'm gonna crank this a little bit over so you can see this poster board that I spent hours putting together. Um, it's got a lot of the original Rob Cannon art on it, his design work, as well as the cover poster. And this one's being obscured by the light, but it's a copy of page 21, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, Issei Tolkien wasn't a good writer. Yeah, he was really good at world building, and wow, I still think he's a good writer, but yeah, world building is really important to me. That's kind of what this first book is mostly about. I would say, I think like the first 25 pages or so are mostly just world building. So it's like a prologue, and then it goes into the start of the story where we start, and continues on from that point, in a linear fashion. So, and it will go. So what I had originally planned in my draft was a 5-episode structure. So Lunar Rise is episode 1, or chapter 1 as I'm calling it. So that's where we're at right now. Sorry, getting a little dry in here. It is actually freezing in here. There's not a lot of heat on right now. The door's been wide open, and it's super cold. But I'm sure that will change once a bunch of people start getting into here. Like I said, we still have a couple hours to go before the convention actually starts. Actually, it's only about an hour and 20 minutes till the convention opens up to the public. So this is a good time to live stream. Durkin says, I was thinking that it would be awesome to create a story where you set it in the distant future near the end of time, where all matter in the galaxy has been put into a black hole to make it a light year across. Oh, that's an interesting story. You should make it into a book. Honestly, I'd buy something like that. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to start at the beginning. And the reason for that being is when I was writing the story, I was going through a lot of ruminations, if you will, about religious beliefs and whatnot. And I wanted to sort of, I was having a lot of trouble dealing with, my own faith and stuff like that. And so I wanted to create a story that sort of took all the things I was thinking about and put it into something. So that's where the project really started. Plus, I was really into, like, I mean, if you want to go way back, it started as sort of like a fan fiction, but for the Final Fantasy game series. But that version of it didn't last very long before I started writing my own original stuff. But the basic, like, sort of race structure, which Final Fantasy, all of them. Actually, at the time, 8 I think was the newest one out, but I've played all of them. It was probably more based, as I remember correctly, it was probably more based around Final Fantasy Tactics at the time. That was like one of the newer ones that was out when I started writing this back in, if you can believe it, 1998, 99. Yeah. Final Fantasy doesn't exist in the same universe technically, unless you count Dissidia, which is, I know, a spinoff, but anyway, won't get into that. Yeah, I know they're different stories, and that's kind of one thing I really liked about it. But I would say Tactics was the one I was basing most of the stuff off of. I wanted like a continuation of that, but we kind of got it, but we never really got it. So, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. That's for another stream. That's a fan stream. Yeah, FF9 has some implications there, but so I want to get back more into my story, even though I'd love to sit here and talk about Final Fantasy all day. So I really wanted to make something that had a definite beginning and a definite middle and a definite end. So, do I have Magitech? Surprisingly, yeah, there's like robots later on, but actually, it's not surprising at all. Yeah, but that's way in the future. That's like 2 books away, 2 chapters away, if you want to call them that. So this sort of starts in a period after the Great Cataclysm, when this creature, excuse me, came up from the surface. He he hatched from the center of the Earth. There's some back plot into that later on, and or you know what I mean, the center of the planet. It's not called Earth, but the planet's called Inus. That's INES, and this creature hatches from the center, and it burrows its way through the Earth and comes up as like a fully grown creature, like a kaiju monster. And when it gets to the surface, it releases all these like spores that transform the dead people into creatures and monsters and stuff like that. So every time somebody's killed, these spores will infect them and turn them into a monster. So it just increases its army, its forces. Yeah, kind of like Lavos from Chrono Trigger, but not exactly. It's derivative of a few things. Like I don't lie, I take a lot of influence from a lot of different things. I'm not saying like I'm 100% original or anything, but it's sort of like a collective work of everything that I really like put into a story. I think that's what a lot of people do, though. So anyway, once this creature's up, the dominant race on the planet are the Dragi, which are basically dragons. And the Dragi had been, ruling the planet for thousands of years at this point, and they were actually the ones that create. They create 2 other races. There's the Haman, which are basically humans, and the Orsted, which are sort of like they sort of look like reptilian gray aliens. It's the best I could describe them. So they create these 2 races, and everybody's living in harmony until this giant creature comes up from the ground and ruins everything. So, the society had gotten to a point where they were going into space and everything like that. But all of that is taken away. And of course, there's this long, drawn out war at that point. And the Dragi have to come up with a means to stop this creature and put an end to all of these, monsters from appearing. So they do. And I won't say exactly how they do it, but the resulting method makes it so that they disappear from the world. And then the other 2 races are left to cope with the aftermath. Through their post centuries, they sort of start, some of them interbreed, and this new race appears called the Angelos, who bear like human features but also Dragi features. And because of the 2 races combining together again, they sort of gain a lot of the same powers as the Dragi, and they take leadership over the world again. So they're the dominant race on the planet, and then from that point is almost to the point where we're sorry. So the area in which the last battle took place is contaminated, if you will. No one goes there. It's blackened. This one guy, this Haman, he decides he's going to go in there because he thinks there's some sort of treasure or something like that. His name's Ragos, and as he's digging there, a piece of the creature infects him and takes over his body, and he's essentially the new version of the creature in like a human form. Actually, I have some concept art I can show you. This guy. So he kind of a tyrant esque from Resident Evil, but this was kind of where I got the idea for the arm. This is a Andre Boulard piece, by the way. And from that point on, he's off creating monsters. So he rebuilds this army of creatures from the dead, and they start, destroying the planet. So once again, the Angelos have to, take up arms against them and lead the people down on the surface. I should mention, they have flying fortresses in the sky. So they have to lead the people down on the surface. And eventually the leadership sort of fails, and they just hide up in these flying fortresses and leave the people to fend for themselves. And that's pretty much where the story sort of picks up with the main character, Anazia. And he's the one we're following through this first part of the story. And there's a whole plot with him, which covers about the last 25 pages of the book and sets up the rest of the story. So, which will be issue 2 and issue 3. Hopefully I get it all done before issue 3. And then we move on to the next chapter after that. So, yeah, it's not really related to Genova cells or anything like that, but I guess that kind of idea would kind of play over into that. But it's similar, yeah. But they're not really, the people aren't really infected with it. It's just he creates these monsters from the dead, basically. So sort of like adding zombies into the mix and stuff like that. But that's a general idea. But I don't really know if I could say much else about it at this time without giving away too much about the end part of the book. That's about the first 25 pages of it, covering all these events that happened. And then you lead up into the story. So there are a couple pages from that point in the story, or on the Indiegogo page, that I posted as previews. But I won't say which ones. You can kind of tell if you go look at it, but so get about an hour left until the convention starts. So is anybody around here? I can't really. There's only 2 people watching. Oh man. Let's see if anybody wants to come on here. Nope. I guess not. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. For now, I might stream a little bit later. No, it's not 3 days Comics Adored. It's only tonight, Friday night, and Saturday. So it's only like a 1.5 day convention. Basically, it's kind of nice that they have it set up this way because it doesn't draw itself out very much. And it's all comics, right? Well, there's other stuff, going on. There's like the cosplay convention or cosplay contest convention. There's cosplay and there's guests, but all of their guests are comic related. They're all writers, artists, things like that. So there's no like, there's a couple celebrity guests, but not very many. And there's like the odd cosplay guests every now and then. But I would say, it's not a generic convention, if you will, like focus on everything. It's definitely comic centric. It's a really good one to come to, actually. And without getting into like super controversial topics, I should have been here with Larry Higgins too, right? Creator of Niobe Comics. But, he had an unfortunate incident where he got banned from the convention, which I'm not super happy about. And if you saw his stream last night, I was on it. And I talked about the book then too. I'll be doing that a lot more. I'm not really all too great at the live streaming yet because I'm not a super extroverted person, but We all have to learn new skills at some point, right? Yeah. Am I doing better than you? That's good. I've never seen you on stream before, so. Oh, sorry, I missed your question there. So you said it's the first story follow the character, and then the next volume has another main character. Actually, without revealing too much, kind of, there are characters that carry over from chapter to chapter, but for the most part, it introduces new characters every time it changes chapters. Hence the chapter change. But without giving away too much, there are characters that will carry over from one to the next until the end. I think that's about all I can cover right now. There are some people starting to sort of filter, and I think the VIPs get in a little early compared to the other guys. So they might be in around 4, which is about 5 minutes from now. So I'm gonna cut this off here now. It's a good point. We're at 26 minutes. That's pretty good. I think I've gone over quite a bit of the story so far. Just in general terms, without going into any specifics or anything like that. But you know, if you're watching this in post, I hope this sort of thing kind of draws you into it and you back the campaign, because if I can get this going, it's going to last for a few years until it's finished. I can guarantee you that. I'm not stopping at any point once I get this thing going. Can I show off any art? Yep, I can show off some art. I don't have a lot right now, but actually, here's what I'll do. I have in the back of my making of book here that I'm selling a 10-page preview of the book, which has script and then page. So I'll show you those. Why not? So as you can see, this is back, when the Dragi were ruling. They're flying around in the sky. There's massive cities, architecture from old and new. It's the whole idea behind that. Here's the part where the creature comes out of the center of the planet, and he starts to grow through the earth. He starts as this really blobbish, sort of Lovecraftian type creature, and then as the world is moving along with itself, all of a sudden this thing explodes. It's really hard to tell on these pages because they're not colored. Color will be a massive stretch goal if we ever get to that point, which I hope we do. Of course, he explodes from the earth, and this thing's got this huge jaw now, and it just comes up and just obliterates this city that it comes up through. I really like kaiju movies, so I wanted that. And then here's the part where he's wrapping himself around all this rubble, building up this tower, and then he releases these spores, and the dead start coming back to life again. So, yeah. This is a little bit later in the book. This is page 17. The Dragi are assaulting his tower of rubble, which he perches himself upon and sits. And oh, thanks. I'm really loving Rob's art. He's got this really quick gestural style, and I think it really fits the artwork really good, or fits the story really good. So this is a lot later on, after the Dragi are gone and the Angelus are in charge, and they're raising the cities at this point into the sky. And then this is much later in the book, about where the story starts. And you can see there's some interactions between the leadership and a couple soldiers going on in this panel about what to do about this. There's another panel that becomes before this that I just had done. I ordered a couple more pages, besides my initial 10. where this soldier's down on the ground and she sees a bunch of the creatures called the Phobos assaulting this town, and she goes up to tell the leadership, and he gives her some orders that are going to affect the planet quite hastily. She's a little upset, and this is where we introduce our main character as a child. So it starts there, but it's only brief as when he's a kid, and then he becomes, the more adult. Cover artwork. This goes through all the different versions. This is a great book that I put together. Hopefully, I'm going to have to re-edit it. It's one of the perks in the campaign, because when I put it together, I didn't really do a lot of editing on it, and there were a couple grammatical errors, not spelling mistakes, just grammatical errors. So when I redo it for the campaign, it's going to be a little bit better. Probably add some pages into it too, and so these 40 books that I have here are going to be exclusive to this convention. Here's a little look at the world as it is. Maybe a little bit of hints about things that are going to happen in the future. Maybe. Can't really say. But that's the general gist of the world. There's this world's contained to one side of the planet. The other side is all water. Because this world has two suns, and they go in they actually orbit the planet because of the high gravity of the core. The other side of the planet is pretty much uninhabitable because it's always hot, and there's no land over there. Just a little weird science thing that I put into the book. It also has 3 moons, which may become a plot point later on in the... Well, it's definitely a plot point in the first book. Yeah, hence the title, The Lunar Rise. But you'll get into that once we start getting going here. So that's about all I can show. I didn't get a defined map. What do you mean by that? No, it's a basic map that I drew up a long time ago, and I just put it in Photoshop and basically like colored over the little designs that I did. And when I'm talking about like a long time ago, this was a long time ago when I drew that map. It was like 1999 or something like that when I did that map up. And I actually took some of the continents out and changed them around a bit and stuff like that. But there will be a defined map. It's one of the pages in the book that has layouts of like where things are and stuff like that. And I did that little design up so that Rob could work off of something, so he knew what it looked like and stuff like that. I do a lot of that stuff. I'm not like a super great artist or anything like that, but I do draw, and I will send them, designs and stuff like that to work off of, so that, like map making is what, yeah, I would have liked to do a little bit more of that, but like I said, I'm not a super great artist. I do draw all of my designs out so that I give them a general idea of what they're looking for, like stuff like this. I'm not a super great artist, but I can get the general idea down anyway. And then give it to better artists to work on. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not the quality that I want. Hence, I pay lots of money to get amazing artwork. But hey, that's what you got to work for, right? Anyway, yeah, well, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you catch us on the replay. I definitely want to talk some more, and I'll probably be live again tomorrow. So I'm going to wrap her up there now, and I will catch you guys later. I might be on with again with Niobe Comic again tonight on his channel. Probably, actually. I know he's doing something on either tonight or Saturday night, sort of like an online convention, since he couldn't be here. So that's going to be pretty fun. I don't exactly know what he's got planned, but I'm looking forward to it too. So I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching. And I hope you back the of Time and Space, the Lunar Rise #1 on Indiegogo. It is live now, and I believe there are 55 days left to back. I put it on for a 60-day, just so I can get lots of word. And as a first-time creator, it's pretty hard to get people interested in your work, especially if you don't have a large following. But I am gonna give it all she's got. So I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching.